When you own a working ranch, you get used to people assuming your land is just part of the scenery. But when that assumption turns into trespassing, things get real. I'm Wade Callahan, fourth-generation rancher in the hills of Montana. I mind my business, raise longhorns, and keep my barn cleaner than most HOA garages. So when the Evergreen Ridge Homeowners Association moved in half a mile down the ridge, I figured we'd coexist fine. Big mistake. First came the complaints. My tractor was too loud. My barn light was disrupting stargazing. One woman even suggested I paint the barn a softer beige so it blends with the aesthetic of the new community. I ignored them. I figured they'd tire out. Then one Saturday afternoon in mid-June, I rode back from the south field to find a mess I'll never forget. My barn doors wide open, balloons, folding tables, music blasting. 30 or so people inside sipping wine, dancing and laughing like they owned the place. There was a sign hanging across the rafters, Evergreen Ridge Summer Social, hosted by the HOA. I stood there on my horse, stunned. There was even a caterer grilling steak on my equipment ramp. One lady waved at me like I was the help. "Can you bring more chairs?" she shouted. I turned and spotted a familiar face. Carol Mattingly, the HOA president. She'd emailed me before, demanding I move my manure pile further from the property line. Now she was wearing a sun hat and holding a mimosa inside my barn like she was Martha Stewart. I walked in calmly. "Carol," I said, "what the hell are you doing in my barn?" "Oh, Wade, don't be grumpy. We needed a rustic venue and your barn is so charming. Besides, no one was using it." "No one was using it because it's where I keep 2,000-pound bulls when I rotate pastures. You're trespassing." She laughed like I'd told a joke. "Relax, you country folks are so dramatic." "Dramatic? Fine, let's get dramatic." I turned, walked out, and closed the massive barn doors behind me, then slid the steel latch shut, locked it, walked away. Inside that barn were two of my prized longhorn bulls, Brutus and Tank, calm as a summer breeze just resting in the rear stall. But I knew from experience, loud music, strange scents, and fast movement make them curious. And when 2,000 pounds of muscle gets curious, people get nervous. I waited outside. It didn't take long. First came the thumping, then the screaming. I heard chairs falling, someone yell, "What is that?" Then came the classic, "Is that a cow? Why is it coming this way?" I calmly opened the top half of the Dutch door and leaned in. "Oh, that's Brutus. He's friendly. Unless you're standing too close to his hay, you might want to ease back." Pandemonium. People scrambled onto tables. Wine glasses shattered. Someone dove behind the grill like it was the Alamo. And Carol, red in the face, standing on a feed barrel, screaming about a lawsuit. I let them sweat for 5 more minutes. Then I led Brutus and Tank out calmly with a bucket of grain, because I know how to handle bulls. Once the barn was empty, and soiled with at least one HOA member's mimosa, I opened the main doors. The group streamed out, shaken, muddy, and humiliated. Carol was the last to leave. "You'll regret this," she snapped, brushing straw off her sundress. "I doubt it," I said. "You've got 48 hours to send me a written apology and pay for cleanup. Otherwise, I'm filing criminal trespassing charges against every last one of you. And yes, I have security footage." 2 days later, I had a check for $3,200, a notarized apology, and a promise to never set foot on my property again. I used the money to buy a brand new speaker system for my bulls. Now every time I ride past the HOA's walking trail, I play Willie Nelson and give Brutus a brush down in full view. They don't wave anymore.